But it's time now for former Conservative Minister Anne Widdecombe. And the vicious murder of 2-year-old James Bulger was the crime that shocked the nation in 1993, and it's echoed ever since, hasn't it? Killers Jon Venables and Robert Thompson, both aged 10 at the time, snatched the toddler from outside a butcher's shop in Bootle, Merseyside. They brutally tortured the poor boy to death. Unfortunately, we all know the story, don't we? James's brave mother has now spoken of her fury that twisted Venables will not face a public parole hearing. Denise Fergus spoke out after it was staggeringly revealed that the 40-year-old's legal team feared that an open session would cause Venables emotional stress. Oh, we've got to look after his mental health, have we? He is currently serving time for having indecent images of children and has twice been sent back to prison for breaching conditions, OK? So that's the kind of person that we're talking about here. Anne Widdecombe joins me now. Anne, thank you very much. Should he be forced to face a public parole hearing, do you think?
No. I think it's right that he has a private hearing. I would say that about anybody. Because, indeed, a lot of medical evidence will be heard. A lot of questions about mental health will be heard. Somebody having to put all that on the line to be examined doesn't want it to be public. And I see no reason to make a show trial out of it. However, having said all of that, and I stand by that, I know it's unpopular, but I stand by it.
No, it's fair enough, Anne. It's fair enough.
But having said that, I would be staggered, and I really would be, if the parole board released him now, because he clearly does have mental health problems. He's twice been returned to prison. What has it been about? It's been about paedophile material, which is worrying because of the original offence. And I think it's got to be cleared up properly, and his issues have got to be cleared up properly before he is released. Because, yes, he didn't actually commit paedophile offences. He looked at paedophile stuff. But every time you look at something like that, some child has been abused in order for you to be able to see it.
Well, look, you know, what do we know about him? Right? We know that he killed and tortured James Bulger in the most brutal way. People say, well, he was 10 years old at the time. I think the manner in which that incident took place would imply to me that this was no kind of, you know, minor thing at all. It obviously wasn't. And then you've got the kind of paedophilic tendencies that come after that. And you think for both of those things alone, there's an argument to say that you can never recover from those things. You will always be a type of individual who should never be out on the streets. And I would be amazed if he came out again.
Before you say that, what we do know is that Bobby Thompson has never reoffended. He's obviously managed to come to terms with what he did. And he's lived, as far as anybody knows, a completely law-abiding life since. So it is possible. But Venables is obviously a completely different case. It hasn't been possible for him. And until those issues are resolved, he should just not be out. For the sake of public safety, he should not be out.
OK. I would argue that I don't think you can resolve those issues, certainly the ones that he was sent back for, in terms of the images that he was looking at. But, Anne, bit of a shift in tone this now. OK, so it's more bad news, I think, for the Conservatives. A devastating poll commissioned by us here at GBNews. It makes me laugh, this, by the way. Loads of people are going online, you're not reporting this, are you? You're not reporting this. Like we're trying to cover it up. We are reporting it. The only reason you know about it is because we did the poll and then reported it. But there you go. The poll commissioned by GBNews put Labour supporters nationally at 49%. The Tories on 21%. And you say in your Daily Express column that the Prime Minister has, quote, all the vision of a myopic clerk in a small office. Anne, tell us more.
Well, I mean, what you need...
Oh, well, what she said was that Rishi Sunak has all of the vision of a myopic clerk in a small office. Anne's back. Yes, all right, go on, Anne.
What I was saying was, and what I said in my Express column, if the Conservatives are to make any recovery at all, they need a leader with fire in his belly. And Rishi Sunak has no fire in his belly. His smirking, smug Chancellor...
Yeah, she's gone again. I think we'll leave it there. She has got a point, though, because earlier on I was reporting on Rishi Sunak's comments about AI, right, and how, essentially, it could kill us all, right? So, you know, And he was stood there at the plinth and he was talking completely dead behind the eyes, completely monotone. By the way, I think he's probably quite a nice guy, Rishi. I've got nothing against him. It's the delivery, isn't it? Saying, we're going to have to get this right now, otherwise we could be facing a dark future. And I thought, honestly, after listening to that, welcomed a future where AI did just finish us all off as quickly as possible. No charisma, nothing. How can you expect people to go and vote for you if you don't have what Anne Widdecombe would call fire in the belly? There we go. Well, against my better judgment, we're going to try Anne Widdecombe one more time. Nothing to do with you, Anne. I just don't want to go for the hat-trick of connection failures. Anne, you don't think he's got fire in the belly?
No, he's got no big ambition for Britain. He's got no big vision that he shares with us all. He just wants to keep everything frightfully steady, as if, one bead on the abacus going wrong is the biggest disaster that could happen. And everything's falling down around him. And he appears to be supremely oblivious of all of this. Whatever else he may be, that is not a leader. A middle-ranking manager, possibly, but he is not a leader. And without a leader, your poll will be replicated at the general
Well, but what does that mean then, Anne? So what you appear to be saying there is they need to get rid of him and get somebody else in.
No, I'm not going to say that either, because I think the Conservative Party is between a rock and a hard place. They've got an absolutely hopeless leader with whom they're not going to win. If they have another leadership election between now and the general election, the public really will just throw up its hands and say, enough. So
well, catch-22. So what we need then, Anne, what you're saying is, right, that we've got to get on the phone now to the personality transplant clinic, right, and try and inject something like Boris Johnson's personality, just the good bits of it, into Rishi Sunak, and we've got a year to make the public realise that. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. It's not going to happen. You can't change the guy. You can't change the guy. He should go, I think, afterwards and, be very successful in the city or in America, I think possibly in America, and go and do that kind of stuff, which is what I think he will be better at. And why don't you run? You'd be good.
I'm not in Parliament, in case you hadn't noticed.
Oh, no, but you get yourself back in there, you could do it.
No, thank you. I'm 76. Spare me. Just spare me.
All right, Anne, anyway, look, thank you very much. I think you've done enough for this nation, Anne, haven't you? You've done enough. Look, Anne Widdecombe there. Of course, former Tory minister, thank you very, very much.